We're focusing on some unusual health-related stocks with a potential for big returns. Joining me is Dan Miller, Portfolio Manager of the Gabelli Focus 5 Fund. Nice to see you, Dan.
Good to see you again.
We're going to get right to some of your holdings. Your biggest healthcare holding in the portfolio is BioScrip. It's a stock that in the last couple of weeks has had a pretty good run up. It's a stock we've written about as well at The Street. It's in the home infusion therapy business. So what is it about this stock? There's so many names out there. What is it that you focused in on this one
Well, it's about a 6% weighting in my fund today. It's the third largest provider of home infusion services in the country behind CVS and Walgreens. Home infusion has some really strong tailwinds as an industry, growing top line, 20% a year for the last couple of years. And this company in particular has some real opportunities to enhance margins from a 6% in 2014 to probably 12% in 2017. So EBITDA can double this year, can probably double again 3 years out, and the stock is a bargain.
Trades about $5, give or take some change. Is this a company that has the potential to be acquired?
Absolutely. So the stock today is probably trading at a 30% discount to its intrinsic or private market value a year out, and it could be a three-bagger in 2 years, especially if it's acquired, as you say. Some of the potential buyers, it could be the large pharmacies like a CVS, that would get real meaningful synergies by buying the company. EBITDA, which we think could be $100 million in 2016, could actually be $200 million, given a target like CVS would come in and take out costs for purchasing and field operations and corporate overhead and interest expense. So it's a really bite-sized target.
What would make you think secondly about the stock? Is it clearly an execution story for you in deciding how much to keep in the portfolio?
Yeah, it is now. So we've actually built a really big position in the last couple of weeks. As you mentioned, there's been some volatility.
So that's
because
why the
of
stock
execution.
went up. That was your position.
we bought a couple shares in the last couple of weeks, but yes, I mean they've had some issues with margins, some write-downs. They've gone out in 2013 and 2014 and done some deals, had to write off some accounts receivable, and now you're right, they have to execute.
Another stock you hold is Alair. It's in the diagnostics business. It's also been a pretty strong performer in the past couple of months. What is the story behind this one for you?
So Alair is a leader in diagnostic equipment. They manufacture a variety, hundreds of different testing equipments, for example, like the flu test, rapid flu test at home, or even at your doctor's office. And a new CEO came in part because of an activist investor. There was a bid to buy the company at 45. The stock's now around 50 per share, and we think it's worth somewhere in the mid-$60 to $70, at 14 times EBITDA.
What drives it there?
New products and then margin improvement also. This is a company which will take out a lot of costs, have sold off some non-core assets, and that will help going forward.
Also, Tetraphase Pharmaceuticals, it develops antibiotics. What's attractive to you about this name?
Well, this is a company that's now in phase 3 testing for, as you said, antibiotic that will treat abdominal and UTI infections. 4.5 million Americans today suffer from these two diseases, and this is a first-in-class opportunity that we think will come to market probably in 2017, 2018, and it could be $1 billion in peak revenues.
Of all these stocks we talked about, is one of these names kind of ideal for somebody midway through their investing cycle? Somebody in their 40s, 50s wants to have a stock that's perhaps going to have a little bit of growth, but not as much risk as somebody on the younger side might take with a portfolio.
Yeah, first they could buy my fund, but second they could also probably buy Alair, which has a best-in-class portfolio, which doesn't have a lot of debt, which is going to absolutely grow the top line with very low risk. But I think all three are excellent opportunities.
Dan Miller, Gabelli Focus 5 Fund. Good to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks. I'm Rhonda Schaffler for The Street.